the gutter system down yesterday, and I waited too long to do it, so I got some damaged gutters. I should have done it when I was home the last time, but I didn't. And so now I need some new parts. Put this ladder back up in here. So I'm gonna go down and start a fire in the shower sauna, get that warmed up. And today I gotta get some wood up here. I got damage to a lot of these, but what I can do is I'll use these down on the high tunnel when I set up the system down there, and bring out some new ones for the cabin. Try not to get snow inside these boots. It's the one problem with these quick one-off rubber boots. You go in the snow that's too deep, then your boots fill full of snow. All right. Had some pretty stout winds last night. Not too bad. It's got up to 40-mile-an-hour gusts.
I haven't painted the backside of the shower sauna or workshop because it's going to get torn down soon. That's why it looks bad.
Yeah, that'll work. So this morning it's like 12 degrees out and windy, super clear. Let's get a fire going in the shower sauna. One thing I need to do today is put a new oil pump in the pulling. And where are those parts at?
So the first step in this oil pump replacement is to remove the side cover and the bar and the chain. The next step is to remove the top cover and take the spark plug out because I need to install a piston stop to keep the crank from rotating when I remove the clutch. Spark plug looks good. I'll continue to use that one. This is that piston stop I was telling you about. It keeps the piston from going up. It kind of jams it up so that you can remove the clutch. That's the new oil pump. And now I'll install the clutch removal tool. And I bought two of them. One of them's for a different model, so just comparing the two. I got the right one, and this is the one I'll use to remove the clutch. And the clutch is reverse threaded, so it's right to loosen and left to tighten. So that's the entire clutch assembly. It looks pretty good. I'm going to probably replace this because the sprocket has got a little bit of wear to it, and the bearings, it needs a new set of bearings, which are part of the clutch drum. There's 2 screws that hold the oil pump in. I'm removing those right now. And I'm prying up on the oil pump. I got to get this out of the oil reservoir. It's got a little fitting. Just yank up on that. Out it came. This spring sits on the crankshaft and it actually rotates the oil pump, so I'm going to replace it with a new one, although the old one looks fine. Just clean everything up a little bit with some carb cleaner, which I'm almost out of. Install the new oil pump spring on the crankshaft. Brand new oil pump going on. I'll just get it attached to the hose here and rotate it in place and down. Reinstall the 2 screws that hold the oil pump in. Putting a little grease down in the bearings on this clutch cup and sprocket. This is going to get replaced. I need to order a new one. Bearings are in bad shape because of me using it to cut holes in the ice and just being lubricated by ice. Plus, I never grease the bearings, so. Throw some gasoline in it and check the oil, and then fire this thing up and see if it's oiling. Oiling. It's coming out slow because the oil's so thick due to the temperatures right now.
All right, it is oiling.
So I'm going to reinstall the bar and chain and the side cover, and this saw is now going to be used to cut wood once again instead of ice.
Water run to the lake again. Using a lot of water. I did some laundry, lots of dishes, and make sure I have my waterproof gloves with me. I think they're right over here in the shed. Good to have a pair of gloves like this when you're getting water. Snow machine gloves, they get wet, they're no good. Throw them in the bag here. The other thing I have planned for today is, well, I'll explain it when I get down there. So the other thing that I have planned today is going up this back side of my neighbor's cabin and cutting the trail so I can get this machine delivered. But the trail's got a bunch of trees sticking up, a bunch of alder stumps. So I gotta run a chainsaw up there and cut the trail and then see if I can't get this thing up there. So there's the neighbor's cabin up on the hill. On the backside is his trail, but it needs work before I can get this up there. It is 5 degrees out this morning. With the wind chill, it's like -10. Not too bad. So I call this hill the Gumdrop Hill. That's what it looks like from my cabin. I could probably maybe make out the neighbor's roof line up here. Hole should still be open, but might need to smack it a couple times with the shovel here. Get all this insulating snow off. There we go. Still open. Waterproof gloves. The other lesson I learned is never tighten these all the way down when you're bringing water jugs down here when it's super cold. So by the time you get down here, they're frozen on there and you can't get them off. I mean, just dipping the jug down in the water that's a simple way of doing it. Getting a pump involved in this is, yeah, maybe faster, but more complicated. And then you got a battery that needs to run it. Batteries usually don't do very good in the super cold. Oh, there's my water. 5 minutes. Good to go.
So this morning I'm going to get back on my neighbor's trail. I worked on it a little bit yesterday, but first I want to run over to my main trail that takes me to a lake that's 11 miles away and see what I need to do over there. I'll get the first portion trimmed up and see if any trees are down. There probably are. See what I need to bring back with me. Pulling the sleigh off the snow machine. I don't want to risk damaging it. I need to run down here first, check it out, and then come back up, and I'll fetch it if I need to.
Well, maybe I should. No, not this first pass.
Since this is going to be my first pass over this lake this winter, I need to be aware of overflow, keep my speed up, and definitely not get stuck in overflow. So this is the very first portion of the trail, and it's overgrown like it is every year. So I need to cut all this back. There's a creek that's down in here. There's some hollow spots in the snow. Just need to run up here, pack it down a little bit, do a little trimming.
So here's that creek that runs through here. So it's pretty hollow under some spots. Should be mostly frozen. I'll take a look at it here in a second, but it's real hollow. If you come up here the first time, you usually fall down. So it's best to just come up here and pack it in with your snowshoes and then make your first attempt with the snow machine. Here's that devil's club. You don't want to grab a hold of that. You'll learn that lesson the hard way the first time or two. So yeah, this isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and kick some snow down there. See, fell down to it. And get all this packed in. And this part of the trail is like an every year thing because this creek runs through there. All these alders and willows, they grow like crazy. And the Devil's Club, everything grows really well in here. Should go back and get the shovel, so I'm going to need it to fill in some of these bigger holes. Should go back and get my snowshoes too. See? It's so easy to touch these things when you're trying not to.
So now I'm at the neighbor's trail and I need to run the chainsaw up there, get some of the larger wood cut back.
Well, get started on this.
There's about 400 yards of trail that needs to be trimmed, so kind of a big chore, and it's all uphill.
Well, I hadn't bargained for this. This is a lot of work. And I got 11 miles of my own trail to clear. Yeah, these turns are no good. Got to keep momentum, especially when the snow conditions aren't right. So this is where you when you come through, you blip the throttle, and what you're doing is you're using the track speed. It's a gas-powered shovel, so that's why you blip the throttle on a mountain sled. You blip that throttle to spin the track, and what you're doing is you're trying to dig the snow flat. It comes into play on a side hill. You can blip the throttle and get yourself level so that you don't tumble down the hill with your sled. You just quickly dig a little trench and sit in it. All of this has got to come out. This is very in the way. All of this right here, all that's got to come out. Got a little bit of a hill there. Let's get up here a little bit further.
So my neighbor that bought this snow machine from me, he's a beginner, has never ridden a snow machine, and this hill's a bit advanced. Kind of worried for him a little bit.
A lot of this mess, this has got to come out. So far, nothing super challenging coming up this far. A little bit further up, it gets a little advanced. Sweeping left-hand turn here, and then it turns back to the right again. Really no way to make it straight in here. And this isn't so bad because it levels out a little bit, gives you a little break, and then you get back into another hill. Gives you a couple seconds to get your stuff together. A lot of small stuff to trim in here. Yeah, this is a bit more of a turn than I would like. You might be able to run it through here instead, but then it gives them a real sharp. So I'd keep it this way. Yeah, nice little hill here, not too bad, but will be bad if the snow conditions aren't right for maximum traction. Yeah, this little spot right here. Pop up the top of the hill and immediate left turn. It's not too bad of a left turn, but if you're pulling a sled up with some wood in it. But then again, if the snow conditions are right and it's frozen up overnight and you got it all scored up with that 1.5-inch track, you let it freeze up overnight and then the next day you'll have really good traction. Sometimes you got to do what I'm doing here though. If the snow's too deep, got to get your snowshoes on, flatten it out, and then ride the snow machine down, let it freeze up again. 2 nights. Yeah, this is a little challenging part of the trail here. Yeah, it's a good little hill here. He's gonna have to be very careful going down it. So going down a hill, you actually use the throttle. You blip the throttle going down and let the clutches act as an engine brake. If you just get on the brake and lock up the track, you just start sliding. So use the throttle as like a Jake brake. Although you're using the clutches, it's not very intuitive. You just grab a handful of brake by intuition, but you actually have to blip the throttle going down hills. And then moderate hill. This is pretty easy going here. Not too bad. Nice and straight for a little bit. Kind of get your act together after that hill. For the next big turn up there. Still lots of trimming, man. Wow. Me, I'd probably cut a switch back into this hill somewhere to negate some of the larger hills. Although that one there is, that one's not as steep as my back trail coming off of my cabin where the workshop's at currently. This goes just straight, not over that way. We'll go just straight through here, trim this stuff back. Bunch of air underneath all these plants though. Sometimes those air pockets will stay there all winter too. You'll be walking along in snowshoes and just fall through. Probably the worst part of this whole trail is the last little 20 feet. There's a big hill. Short, steep hill, and you're either going to jump it or side hill up it. So he's going to have to shovel it and make a ramp if he intends to bring sled's full of wood up. I would attempt a full sled. All right, so a sharp left turn. Short little steep hill. Want to go wide here. That tree's gonna have to get cut. You'll have to be standing up on the machine. I'll knock you right off the machine, so that one will have to get cut. This was the way I originally went, but if you can take a turn out, you take it out. So there's some rocks up here underneath the snow, underneath these pillows. I figure to skirt on that left side instead of going through there, because you're gonna tear your machine up. A bit of a side hill here, short one. Then again, you can get your shovel at work and compact it and make it flat. All right, the rest of it's easy.
Here's the last 100 yards. This is pretty easy until the last 20 feet. There's a steep little drop off, and he'll need to put a shovel at work.
Saw a snowshoe hare here yesterday. Jumped right out in front of me on the trail. There's this little bunny highway right there. And then here's the last little bit. Kind of a side hill up there. You don't want to go straight up it. You don't want to go like that. You want to side hill up. And that's going to snow drift, so he'll have to come down there with a shovel and snowshoes and pack that down often. All right, turning around, I'm going back. Let this set up overnight. I'll come up trim tomorrow, maybe make the first attempt with the snow machine and see how it goes. Start getting this compacted down for him. I think it gets here December 21st or something like that. Spending Christmas at the cabin.